Hey, what's going on, everyone? Misha Wilson here, and welcome to this long-form episode of the Misha Wilson Show. Now, in this episode, I'm actually going to take you behind the veil, and I'm going to give you free access to a system and to a training system that you usually charge for, where I'm going to walk you A to Z through everything you need to know in order to go ahead and run profitable solo ads in 2022 and beyond. All right, I'm going to show you the perfect places to find the best solo ad providers. I'm going to show you the exact copy to use when you go ahead and place a solo ad. I'm going to show you exactly how to make sure you only choose the best solo ad providers for maximum profits, maximum lead flow, and ultimately highly responsive leads. And actually, if you stick around till the very end of this video, I'm going to give to you in the actual video itself completely and totally done for you ad copy and done for you traffic sources where you can literally look over my shoulder and find me, or essentially watch me find the right traffic sources, write the right copy for the actual traffic sources, for the landing pages and everything in between. I've used this to now do well over $25 million in total sales. I know you'll absolutely love it. Stick around, watch this entire video until the very end. If you do get value, don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon notification button so that you're notified when I do more videos just like this. And with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Welcome to the Misha Wilson Show, where we show you how to create massive success online so you can enjoy the lifestyle of your wildest dreams.
So no worries if things get weird.
They're bound to, yes.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to. I mean, that's just the way it works on a live broadcast. So welcome, everyone. So glad you could be here tonight. Tonight's a really special evening, and I'm super excited. We are joined, actually, first of all, you probably know who I am, but I'll go ahead and let you know if you don't already. My name's Andrew. I'm the editor here at What's Working Now. And again, we've got a really special presentation for you tonight. We've got Misha Wilson on the line. Misha has been an Elite Marketing Pro affiliate for a couple years now, actually. He was really with us right at the very beginning when we launched Elite Marketing Pro. And I remember he just kind of came out of the gate and immediately started getting results. Was pretty much like profitable, I think, from almost like day one. I mean, like you were pretty much profitable like your first month, which is super cool. And you really dialed into one particular traffic strategy, which is something we recommend that everyone does. You know, you got to really focus on one thing and really dial that in. So Misha's really been just on top of all of the latest developments of what we're going to be sharing here tonight. So he's just really, I mean, been studying from just absolutely the top folks in the space, and he's also built a really impressive list in business for himself. He hit 6 figures by the age of 24, which is very impressive. It's super cool when you see young guys. I mean, I'm a relatively young guy, but Misha's, you know, even a few years younger than I am, and it's always really impressive and inspiring when you see someone so young just really, I mean, just do awesome, awesome things in their business. So, sir, you are an inspiration. I mentioned when I shot Misha an email, like, I guess it was probably like a week or something ago. I was like, dude, it's way, way, way overdue for us to have you on a What's Working Now presentation. So it's a pleasure. Again, it's long overdue, and I'm just super excited to dig in tonight and have you share with all the folks. There were a lot of folks registered for tonight. I got a lot of emails leading up to tonight. I know folks are really excited. So this is going to be really great stuff. Everyone, make sure you've got your your pen and paper ready. Of course, there'll be a replay of this presentation in your back office, but you're going to learn a lot of really cool stuff tonight. So I'm super excited to dig in. Misha, thanks so much for being here, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Andrew, thank you so much, man. I can't say how much I've learned from What's Working Now, and obviously everybody at Elite Marketing Pro, at the No Exclusive Summit events, etc. So you guys have had such a big impact on my personal journey in the online space and just with business in general and just developing as human beings. So it's awesome to be able to hop on and just kind of hang out with you, of course, hang out with everybody else, and share some of the strategies that are working for me in my business right now. So thanks for having me on, and I'm excited, man. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Well, let me get a confirmation. Let me pull up and make sure that everyone can hear us and see your screen. If someone can just, in the questions window, just kind of pop a comment in there, let us know that we're good to go, and everyone's on the same page, and we'll kick things off. All right, cool. Thanks so much for the specific participations. That's a tricky word. So thanks everyone. Yeah, we're good, man. So let's dig in.
Cool. All right, so what I have set up is I have a keynote presentation. I'm going to go ahead and turn my screen or my camera off there. I have a keynote presentation, and it's kind of broken up into, can you guys see everything all right now?
It's looking good for me.
So, notes. Okay, cool. So I have it broken up into more or less 4 sections. We're going to talk about solo ads, we're going to talk about vendor selection, email swipe copy, capture pages that work well for solo ads, etc. And what I decided we'd do is after each section, I'd go ahead and stop for a quick Q&A. Is that what you want to do, Andrew? Or do you want to save questions and answers for the very end?
You know, whichever you think is most appropriate for this material. So if the material is kind of very, you know, if it's just very, you know, if we're covering a lot of very different things, then it probably makes sense to go ahead and address questions right away. Otherwise, we can save it for the end. It's really up to you, man.
Cool. Okay. And Andrew, tell me what's better. Is that better like that, or the other way?
This definitely looks better for us, if that works for you.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, so let's go ahead and kick off, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and lead into this by letting you guys know what solo ads are, kind of setting your expectations and giving you a fair warning. So solo ads, they're one strategy for driving traffic and going ahead and building your email list, of course, right? There are plenty of different strategies for doing that exact thing, for building your email list, for making sales, generating leads, etc. Solo ads have worked really well for me. Having said that, I know quite a few people who they haven't worked for, and when it comes down to my personal experience, it's just because people don't go the extra mile. They don't take the time to really do them effectively and do them the way they should. They kind of don't really treat them like they would another traffic medium, and because of that, they just go ahead and get burned pretty often. So I don't want that for you guys, and having said that, I've built this entire PowerPoint presentation really around getting kind of into the nitty-gritty details about how to go ahead and select the right vendors, how to write the right swipe copy, what to go ahead and track, etc. So you can tell if a certain vendor is going to be profitable for you, if a certain vendor is not going to be profitable for you, who you should stick with, who you should scale with, etc., in order to get the maximum results. So these have worked for me, solo ads have worked for me, but I know a lot of people who have really just outright gotten scammed with solo ads, because the thing about solo ads is you're actually purchasing traffic from another individual. You're not purchasing from a platform. You're not purchasing from Facebook. More or less what you're doing is it would be like me going over to Andrew and asking him to send an email out to his list with my ad in it, right? So there has to be a certain level of trust, and I have to know that Andrew will go ahead and fulfill on that order in order for me to go ahead and move forward and, of course, see good results with that solo ad. Having said that, there's inherent risks with any kind of traffic. With, you know, Facebook, you can get your ads and your whole account shut down. With PPV or PPC, you can go ahead and get outbid on a certain keyword that's working really well for you. So just like with any other traffic medium, this can work really well for you if you go ahead and dive in and use it to the maximum of its potential. If you don't, you know, you could very well get burned and just outright scammed by people who are sending in unethical ways. So having said that, let's go ahead and dive in. So I want to let you know that a lot of this webinar is going to be covering really how to select profitable vendors, how to select vendors that really work well and send ethically, send you high quality leads, and really send you the cream of the crop of what their list is made of. And at the end of this webinar, I'm going to go ahead and give you a free gift. And what that gift is my 20 proven to convert solo ad vendors. And these are actually all vendors that have generated leads and actually sales for me with Elite Marketing Pro. So I'm guessing a lot of you are Elite Marketing Pro members. A lot of you are looking to generate leads and sales for your Elite Marketing Pro business. So I wanted to take as much of the guesswork out of the equation as I could when it came to showing you how to use solo ads profitably for your business, and just go ahead and give you my proven to convert vendors. So I'll go ahead and give that to you at the very end. So having said that, if there's a risk of getting scammed with solo ads, why would you even go down the road of using them, right? That's a question I get asked a lot. That's a question that I think is just kind of out there in general with the solo ad marketplace right now. And for me, it really comes down to three things. The first being that if done correctly, you can get cheap and profitable traffic. So when used correctly, you can get very cheap, literally half the price of what Facebook will charge you for traffic, and you can get profitable traffic as well when you learn how to really get and communicate with the vendors in a way that gets them to send you their cream of the crop leads. Secondly, extremely responsive and likely to buy leads when used correctly. So this is kind of just a little bit piggybacked off the first one. But when you learn how to communicate with vendors in certain ways to get them to send to their most kind of responsive segments of their list, you're going to get extremely responsive and extremely really likely to buy leads that are coming onto your list. And third, this is really my favorite, they're very simple and they're very easy to use and actually very easy to automate. So once you find, let's say, 20, 30 vendors that are working really well for you, or even just 10 or 15 vendors that are working really well for you, it's extremely easy to set up a deal where you have a solo ad go out to that person's list every single month on complete autopilot, and you just go ahead and pay them every single month. And that's actually how I have my business set up right now. So I've selected kind of the best of solo ad vendors, and then I've found the 20% of those solo ad vendors that are performing the best for me in my business, and I have ads with them set up to go out on complete autopilot, and then I just kind of adjust my marketing and my aggressiveness with emailing my list and follow-up, etc., based on when I know those various ads are being sent out to their list. So it's extremely simple and it's extremely easy to automate. You're not necessarily spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day in the back office of some high-tech PPV account, etc. So I know PPV works really well for people. I'm not ripping on that strategy at all. If you're crushing with PPV, stick with it, obviously. But this is why I personally use solo ads. So why are solo ads responsive if done correctly? And you have to look at how someone comes onto your list in order to answer this question. So the process it takes for someone to get onto your list with solo ads is almost like a filtration process, all right? So you need to look at the fact that with a solo ad, someone has to actively seek out information on your topic or your niche, etc. So if they're looking to make money online, they have to be actively seeking out information on your topic, on your niche, and then actually trying to find a solution for a problem that they're personally facing in that exact moment of time. They then have to take action and opt into someone else's list, because with a solo ad, once again, you're sending an email to somebody else's list. That's your form of advertising. So that individual first has to opt into someone else's list. Third, they have to open daily emails from that person. So once again, if I were to purchase a solo ad from Andrew, in order for my ad to get in front of my prospects, those people are having to open Andrew's daily emails, right? Fourth, they have to get your ad, they have to open your email, they have to read your swipe copy and kind of like your swipe copy, like what it's saying, and then they have to go ahead and click on your link, and only after that do they ever get the chance to opt into your capture page and see your offer. So if you're generating a 35–40% opt-in rate with solo ads and you're using the vendor selection process like I'll show you how to do on this webinar, you're going to get a pretty high quality of lead. And I just wanted to let you know these work correctly if you do them correctly, and they work correctly for people other than just me. So this is a buddy of mine, Corey Neese, and he says 285 opt-ins and multiple sales and upsells in 1 week. Within a week of implementing the lessons learned within Misha's solo ad success formula, which are the strategies I'm about to teach you right now in this webinar, I generated 285 opt-ins, multiple sales, and upsells. I'm excited for the results I've gotten. I'm excited for the results you'll get as well. And that's my buddy Corey with, I think, someone that we all know pretty familiar with, Mr. Tim Irway at the No Excuses Summit. So these strategies work for other people. They don't just work for myself, all right? So now we're going to go ahead and hop in, and let's talk about the 4 components of profitable solo ads, just kind of in an overview fashion, and then we're going to dive into each of these components specifically and individually and kind of get to exactly how you should be using each component with your solo ad marketing. So what each component is designed to do. The 4 components are a quality solo ad vendor, and we're going to take a lot of time talking about how to select quality vendors. 2, email swipe copy, so subject and a body copy. This is your actual ad, so this would be your Facebook picture, or if you're running a Facebook ad, this would be your picture and the textual ad that goes around that picture. Your capture page, of course, and then tracking setup. So those are the 4 components of profitable solo ads. So a quality solo ad vendor. A quality solo ad vendor is a vendor who will send you have the correct number of clicks. So if you order 500 clicks, they need to fulfill on those 500 clicks that you went ahead and ordered. The correct percentage of top tier clicks, and we'll discuss exactly what that percentage is coming up in a few moments here. But if you order 70, 80, 85% top tier clicks, you need to make sure that vendor's going ahead and fulfilling on that number that you agreed upon when making the order, and someone who will send using your email swipe copy. And this is absolutely critical. To be honest, working with a lot of my students, the one thing I see over and over when people are losing money with solo ads, it's because they're not using the right swipe copy, or they're not using any swipe copy at all. So that's what a quality solo ad vendor is in my mind. That's the definition of a quality solo ad vendor. 2, you need your email swipe. And the purpose of your email swipe is to not only drive clicks to your capture page, but also to qualify clicks. So remember, with solo ads in the 2015 marketplace, you pay per click versus back in previous years, you actually paid for ad placement. So you paid for the actual email being sent out. In today's marketplace, you pay per click. So it's your job as the buyer to qualify each click and to make each click really as responsive as humanly possible. And how you do this is you have a congruent email swipe to your capture page that piques someone's curiosity and gets someone to take action only if they're actually curious about what you have to offer on that capture page and then in your offer. And we're actually going to write up some swipes for your offers at the end of this webinar. So if you have a particular offer that you want me to write swipe copy for, go ahead and get that ready to send over to me at the end of this webinar, and we'll write some swipe copy for it. 3rd, your capture page. And the purpose of your capture page is obviously to convert your traffic into leads. But you need to focus on having a capture page that converts at anywhere between 35 and 40% with solo ads in order to have a chance at being profitable and really maximizing your return on investment. So you can achieve this by having a well-built capture page and also by qualifying each click, like I just talked about a moment ago, with a congruent email swipe copy. 4th, tracking. And tracking, I mean, obviously you should be tracking everything in your marketing. But the purpose of your tracking your solo ad campaigns is to track 3 specific things. This is the total number of clicks delivered, the conversion rate, so how many leads you're actually getting per clicks you paid for, and then also what percentage of traffic you're getting is actually coming from the top tier countries. So once again, we'll get into exactly what percentage of top tier traffic you want to aim for when purchasing in a minute, but you need to be tracking these 3 things: the total number of clicks delivered, the conversion rate, so how many leads those clicks are actually turning into, and then what percentage of top tier traffic people are actually sending you when you go ahead and make a deal with them. So the most important thing to remember is that in order to make solo ads profitable, you need all 4 of the components above in place. Without proper solo ad vendor selection process and a well-written email swipe, your traffic quality will be poor. Without a solid capture page, you won't generate any leads. Obviously, never send straight to a sales page. And then without tracking in place, you'll never be able to really optimize your campaigns or be able to tell which solo ad vendors are performing better than others in order to scale your efforts with your solo ad marketing. So what you need to realize is that in every single solo ad campaign, you absolutely need to have a quality solo ad vendor. You need well-written and congruent email swipe copy, a well-built capture page, and tracking in place in order to track the total number of clicks, total conversions, and traffic quality. And the good news is that I'm about to show you how to set up all 4 and what systems I personally follow in order to maximize my results, so you can copy those exact systems for you in your business. So those are the 4 components in a brief overview, and let's go ahead and dive in. So part 1, we are going to talk about the vendor selection process, and we're really going to talk about how to choose solo ad providers who will send high quality traffic for you and high quality leads, which will convert into sales, all right? So where to find high quality vendors, what questions to ask them, and the game that you're playing. Note, make sure you watch this section more than once and take notes. This is one of the most important steps in making solo ads profitable, because you can have the best swipe copy, the best capture page, you can have all your tracking in place, but if you don't select the right vendor to begin with, it's not going to work out for you. So make sure you watch this section a couple times and take notes, and make sure to implement everything I'm about to teach you just in the next coming moments here. So the game that you're playing is more or less, selecting solo ad providers can almost be like playing a game. It's important to know that there are solo ad providers out there who will blatantly scam you, like I talked about earlier. But more importantly, it's important to know how to avoid them. And the game that you're playing is really one in minimizing the risk that you take in purchasing traffic, while maximizing the potential return on investment. So you always want to be focusing on minimizing your risk while maximizing your potential ROI, all right? Having said that, providers can scam you in 3 ways. Firstly, by not sending the purchased number of clicks. So if you purchase 500 clicks, someone can send you 250, 300, etc. They can just send you the not the correct number of clicks. They can even send 0 clicks. I had that happen to me one time and it was no fun, but it doesn't happen to me very often because I follow the process I'm about to show you. They can scam you by not sending with your email swipe copy. So again, your swipe copy is one of the critical aspects of making solo ads profitable for you and your business. And if a vendor goes ahead and sends your solo ad without using your swipe copy, they're more or less scamming you because the quality of traffic isn't going to be nearly as good as it would be if they sent with your swipe copy. And they can also scam you by not sending the percentage of top-tier traffic you purchased. So you always want to have predominantly top-tier traffic coming from the 7 English-speaking countries, 6 or 7 English-speaking countries. So if someone goes ahead and makes a deal for you for 85% top-tier traffic and then they send 40 or 50%, they're more or less taking your money and not going ahead and providing on what they promised for when you sent them that money. So in any of the above 3 scenarios, your conversions will most definitely suffer. So it's something to watch out for, and it's just something to be aware of, that these are the 3 ways if a vendor is going to send unethically, this is how they're going to do it, all right? So how to avoid getting scammed? Firstly, you have to do your research, and we'll discuss specifics. You need to ask the right questions. Once again, we'll discuss specifics. And 3, you have to frame the purchase, and we'll discuss specifics on this in the coming module here. And really framing the purchase is something that I do in my marketing that I haven't heard of many other people doing, that really it's one of the critical things that has allowed me to be profitable with lots of my solo ad campaigns when I think a lot of other people lose money. So make sure you take notes when we talk about that specific strategy. So let's go ahead and dive in and first look at exactly where you can find solo ad vendors. So you can find solo ad vendors in Skype groups. And Andrew, I actually couldn't figure out how to hyperlink Skype groups in Keynote. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and give you the Skype groups in a hyperlink fashion, and you can link them up below this video in the What's Working Now column, etc. I find a lot of my solo ad vendors in Skype groups. They're extremely high quality vendors, and they're everywhere out there. Also Facebook groups. So let's go ahead and go out of presentation mode for a second, and I'm going to head over to these groups and show you examples. So these are groups that are specifically designed for people who are selling or buying solo ads. So if we head over here, you can see people giving their offers. So guaranteed 200 plus clicks, 50 opt-ins guaranteed for $25. So this is a good example because this is something I would actually steer clear of because it's just too bold of a promise. They're more or less guaranteeing you 50 cents opt-ins, which just isn't realistic. So if it's ever too good to be true, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is, all right? The vendor selection process, once again, is the most important thing to focus on. People will send blatant spam to those groups too, so just go ahead and avoid them. Let's go ahead and go to this page. So as you can see here, 100 clicks on sale, high quality, 100 clicks on sale, get 80% top tier, 1 US clicks with 20% over delivery. Buyers are included. Special discounted price, 35 cents per click. All right, so that's literally 35 cents per click, where you're paying sometimes upwards of, for me personally, over $1 per click with other advertising mediums. So this just shows how you can get dirt cheap traffic, and if you use the strategies I'm about to share with you, it can be very responsive in your marketing. So again, 100 to 1,000 click packages available. Kelvin Chan's premium 75% tier 1 and platinum 100% tier 1 solo ads. I'm a solo ad X approved seller on the Houdini Hall of Fame, and I'm a top 30 seller, so this guy has some testimonials, etc. So all of these various groups, this is literally what you'll see. You'll see people everywhere posting their offers. Some people are going to be asking for solo ads, so saying looking for 500 clicks, etc. So if you want traffic, you can go ahead in these posts and actually type in that you're looking for traffic, etc. So the buyers and sellers of solo ads are right here in the Facebook groups, and the Skype groups are very similar. I would recommend checking out the Skype groups in detail that I go ahead and send over to Andrew, after this webinar. I don't know where Justin came from there, Andrew, but let's go ahead and dive back in here. So I think I read it on one of the Facebook groups or something. Forgive me. So Facebook groups, that's exactly what they look like. And between these two mediums, you'll be able to tap into literally thousands of solo ad providers. It's then just up to you to really take the process that I'm about to share with you and put it into use so you actually select the correct vendors at least the majority of the time. Because if you're selecting the premium go-to vendors, let's say 70 or 80% of the time with your solo ad marketing, which is very possible to do when you follow the process I'm about to show you, you will be profitable with your marketing. I can virtually guarantee it. I'm not going to guarantee anything, obviously, but the vendor selection process is the most important step in your solo ad marketing. So now let's discuss doing your research, all right? So for each provider, make sure that the solo ad provider has an actual sales page for their solo ads, all right? Reputable solo ad providers who will send high quality traffic will always have a sales page with testimonials. And we'll discuss what to look for when it comes to testimonials in just a second. But a scammer is someone who's just looking for a one-off deal, looking to take your money. Maybe not, they won't go the extra mile to create the actual sales page, right? So if we go ahead and hop back here, let's go back to this group. I bet you we can find a couple of posts by people, and I'm not saying actively that these people are scammers, etc., but if you were to want to purchase from this individual before you went ahead and took action and sent this individual money, you would always want to ask them to see their sales page first, make sure they have a legit sales page set up, and make sure they have the testimonials and videos, the images that we'll talk about in just a moment, all in place. That kind of more or less stacks the odds in your favor that they're an active solo ad seller and they're not just trying to rip you off. Here's an example of someone who goes ahead and sends you to a sales page in their ad, and as you can see, this is a little sales page they set up. They have some testimonials, etc. And this is what you're really looking for when it comes to purchasing solo ads. They have the various opportunities and offers that they'll sell for. So for every single solo ad, make sure you go the extra mile and make sure that the seller actually has a sales page. And I know that seems really obvious, but once you go ahead and get involved with these Skype groups, etc., people will literally be offering solo ads 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day. And if you just purchase something directly off of Skype or off of Facebook, etc., the chances of you getting ripped off from that deal versus the chances of you getting ripped off from a deal that you go the extra mile, you look at the sales page, you make sure they have testimonials, etc., it's much greater. So make sure each seller has a sales page. 2, check for a picture or a video of the actual seller on the sales page, and this is just one of those things, something that I'll trust more if there's a picture. When there's a picture or video of themselves, in my personal experience, it's just much less likely that they're going to go ahead and be a scammer because they're actually putting themselves out there. They're saying, this is me, this is who I am, and then if they rip you off, their whole reputation's on the line, right? So make sure you look out for a picture or a video of the person selling the solo ad on the sales page. 3, look for testimonials from a variety of individuals, not just solo ad providers. So sometimes what will happen is 10 people selling solo ads will get together and they'll all give each other testimonials, so it looks like they have testimonials, right? What you want to look for is testimonials from people who've gotten sales in an opportunity, whether that be Elite Marketing Pro and Power, My Top Tier Business, etc. Look for people who have gotten results promoting something similar to what you're promoting. Also, make sure that you really look for testimonials and make sure that the testimonials are realistic. So if someone's claiming that they've sent 500 clicks and got an 80% opt-in rate, it's just most likely not the case. Once again, if it seems too good to be true, it is. So look for 35 to 45% opt-in rate and maybe 1 or 2 sales per 500 click solo ad package. Stay away from vendors with solo ad testimonials about supposed 80% opt-in rates or 10 sales per 500 clicks, etc. If it seems too good to be true, I know we all fall for those traps, but it probably is too good to be true. So moving on, connect personally. So make sure you connect personally with every single provider. So let's say you go on Facebook, you see an ad for someone selling a solo ad, and it takes you directly over to the sales page. I want you to never just buy directly from that sales page without speaking to the solo ad seller. Get personal, create a relationship, become friends with that seller, because what you need to realize is that if the solo ad goes well, you could very well be back for more clicks, and the stronger your relationship is with that seller, the better of a deal you'll get on a larger package when you want to scale your clicks. So I'll say for me personally in my own business right now, with the providers that I buy from every single month, I have a really strong relationship built with those people. So they give me a really good deal with every single solo ad I buy. So not only am I getting targeted, responsive traffic that turns into leads and sales, I'm also getting a better deal than almost the entire marketplace because I went the extra mile, I found them on Skype, I talked to them, I introduced myself, I created a warm relationship with them, and moving forward, I get better deals and I get higher quality traffic because of it. So always connect personally with sellers over Skype or Facebook. 5, check with each provider that they will be sending your solo ad to their own in-house email list and not a brokered list, all right? So this is a little bit complicated. More or less what brokered lists are is when a person you buy from will actually take the order but then send to someone else's list for a small percentage of the sale, so 10 cents to 15 cents per click. So if you pay, let's say, 50 cents per click for your solo ad, someone could be more or less taking the order from you, then going ahead and sending your ad copy, etc., over to the person who's actually sending to their list for a small percentage of the sale. So when sellers use brokered lists, there's no way to track responsiveness because you don't know whose list your ad actually went out to, all right? So just always ask if they're using a brokered list. I know this can get somewhat confusing. I know you might be a little bit confused about what a brokered list is, etc. Just make sure when you're speaking with the individual on Skype or on Facebook, etc., go the extra mile, ask them if they're using a brokered list, make sure that they're not using a brokered list, and make sure that you trust them based on their reply. So it's something that I avoid in general. Even if I think a list might be profitable, if it's brokered, just stay away from it because there's no way to go back and scale, even if it is profitable. So that's what to look for when doing your research. So Andrew, do you want to take some questions now before we hop into what questions to actually ask to the vendors? You just want to keep rolling?
Let's see. We'll give it just a few seconds and see. Everyone just check in and let us know if you have any questions or if everything is, if you're doing good, if you guys are pumped up. I mean, like what's going on right now? Just give us a quick check in. If there are any questions, we can address those quickly. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and continue to put your questions into the question area, and we'll address them in the next break of the presentation. So. Yes. Let's see. Getting a couple comments.
I know I'm going somewhat quickly here, so if they want to let me know if I'm going too quickly or if I should speed up even, etc., just let me know what the pace is like and if they like it, etc.
Okay, got it. Yeah, looks like feedback so far is very positive. Lots of folks are pumped up, sounding good. Only question I see so far is a question from Adam. How do you know if a list is overused? And for instance, if they've already promoted the particular offer that you're looking to promote, etc.
Yeah, so that's actually something we're going to talk about in just a moment. There's a certain time span that I always make sure. So that's just a question you have to ask the vendor. When's the last time you sent for whatever offer you're sending for? And then usually, if it's a good vendor, if they have a sales page, if they have testimonials, if they have an actual solo ad business, and they're not just trying to take your money in a one-off scam situation, they'll go ahead and give you an honest answer because they know that if they give you an honest answer, you might be back after the time frame. So I wait about 2.5 to 3 weeks, as always, in a minimum time period. So if someone sent, let's say, Elite Marketing Pro out to their list, I will wait 2.5 to 3 weeks to go ahead and purchase a solo ad from that individual if I'm promoting Elite Marketing Pro. So that's actually one of the questions we're going to cover in just a moment here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's, for anyone else, like I said, just put your question into the question window, and we'll address it in the future if you have one. Otherwise, yeah, let's dig back in.
Cool, sounds good. All right, so let's talk, one sec, let me go ahead and minimize this little comment section. Let's talk about asking the right questions. So questions to ask. For each provider, there are 5 specific questions to ask in order to qualify them for the sale, in order for them to be someone that you'll trust to a point that you'll actually even purchase that first initial solo ad from to go ahead and test, all right? So firstly, you always want to send with your own swipe copy. So you always want to ask that individual if they can send using your own swipe copy, and only send from providers who will use your swipe copy for congruency purposes. So we'll dive into exactly how to create copy, but you want your copy very congruent to your capture page, your landing page. So you need someone who's going to send to their email list with their email swipe copy. Secondly, ask for 85% top tier traffic. Traffic from the 6, there's 7 technically. I buy from 6 English speaking countries, as people from the top tier countries are more statistically proven to buy, make money online products, internet marketing products, network marketing related products, etc. So make sure you ask for anywhere from, I recommend 85 to 90% top tier traffic from the 6 primary English-speaking countries. 3, ask when the last time it was the solo ad provider sent the offer out to their list. So this is actually what we were just talking about. So look for providers who haven't sent your offer out to their list for at least 2.5 to 3 weeks to avoid their list being unresponsive to your offer. So what you need to realize is that these people have businesses and they have an extreme amount of lead flow. They're always adding new leads to their list. They're always having unsubscribes occur from their list because they're emailing solo ads pretty often, right? So if you give it a 2.5, 3 week period, there's a good chance that there's quite a few people who have come onto that new email list that haven't seen your offer. So even if your offer was sent out just a couple weeks ago, go ahead, test that vendor out if they haven't sent for 2.5, 3 weeks, etc. Next, ask how long it will take for the provider to deliver the clicks. So for packages under 1,000 clicks, which I recommend, we'll talk about that in just a moment, the provider should always be able to fulfill your clicks within 72 hours maximum, all right? So if you're purchasing a 500 click solo ad, you don't want it to take a week for someone to go ahead and deliver the clicks. And asking them how long it will take just kind of keeps the provider on their toes, keeps them on their game because they know you're serious, they know you're someone who's in the game, they kind of look at you and view you as someone who's purchased solo ads in the past, etc. So it's more likely that they'll fulfill quickly, on time, and in an ethical manner. So ask how long it will take, and always make sure it's under 72 hours for packages, let's say 1,000 clicks or under. 5, pricing. So you always want to ask, obviously, how much they charge, but you also want to negotiate with each seller. So I always ask for 20% under what they reply with. So if they say they want to charge $1 per click, I'll offer 80 cents per click. And obviously it's a lot cheaper than that usually. I'm just using that as an obvious example. And then let the seller, counter your bid and find a fair middle ground. So you'll usually always be able to talk the provider down by at least 10%. So if they're charging $1, you can always talk them down to 90 cents per click, etc. But ideally, you can actually talk the provider down by 15, for me, usually actually 20% of the time. If you just take the time to tell them, okay, I'm actually going to go check out some other offers, etc. These people want your business. So don't take the first offer that they give you. Don't even take the first counter bid that they give you when you go ahead and offer your price that you're willing to pay. Try to make sure that you're getting the best deal for what you're actually paying for, because that can very well be the difference between being profitable and losing a few dollars per solo ad, right? So make sure that you're always negotiating with these sellers. These sellers, they will budge on their price. They want your business. They want to send the solo ad to their list, etc. Also, I never pay above 70 cents per click for top tier traffic. So some people recommend paying more for supposed higher quality providers, but in my personal opinion, I've never noticed a notable difference. I've paid up to $1 to $1.15 per click, and literally the people who I paid 50 cents per click for, they perform just as well, and my profit margins are that much easier to hit because I'm literally spending half of what I would with those supposed high quality vendors, right? So it's usually just making sure that you ask the right questions. The only difference between the person charging $1, $1.15, and the person charging 40 or 50 cents is that their marketing is better. So they'll have more testimonials, they'll have more social proof, they'll have more results of other people, etc., and that's why they can go ahead and charge more per click. So pricing, always try to work your way down 20% from whatever the solo ad seller goes ahead and offers, and I personally will never pay above 70 cents per click. So just to recap, those were the questions you want to ask your solo ad providers. You need to do your research for every provider. And just to minimize your risk and maximize your potential ROI, make sure you go the extra mile and do your research and ask the right questions, because in doing so, you'll weed out the scammers and you'll ensure you receive high quality clicks. So once again, guys, watch this section again because I kind of blew through this pretty quickly. They were all slides. I was going pretty quickly, I think. And selecting profitable solo ad vendors, vendors that will send ethically, vendors that will send the correct number of clicks, percentage of top tier traffic, and then also just traffic that's going to convert into leads. It's literally half the battle. You can get everything else right, but having said that, if you don't have the right vendors sending to their email list, you're not going to see any profits with your solo ad business or with your solo ad traffic, excuse me. So make sure you go the extra mile, make sure you ask the right questions, make sure you do your research. I can't stress it enough. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but it's literally the most important thing. It's the most important piece of the equation when it comes to your solo ad marketing. So moving on, let's talk about framing the purchase, what to track, and scaling. So once again, framing the purchase, this is one of the most powerful little strategies that I personally use in my business, and it's what gets people to send me really their cream of the crop traffic and leads almost every single time I go ahead and purchase a solo ad. So make sure you take notes here, and let's go ahead and dive in. So my definition, this is something that I came up with, but my definition of framing the purchase is buying your solo ads in a manner that makes the provider want to fulfill on your traffic in the most honest and ethical way. So they'll use your swipe copy, they'll over-deliver on the amount of clicks you ordered. So if you ordered 500, they'll go ahead and send you 600, 650 sometimes, etc. And they'll send you the correct percentage of top-tier traffic. So it's really all about making the provider perform at their absolute best by framing the purchase in a certain way, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment. So how you do it? It all comes down to framing your purchase as the first purchase in a series of coming purchases in order to incentivize the seller into impressing you so you'll go ahead and come back and buy more, right? So you want the seller to lead with their best foot first in order for you to come back and purchase more clicks from them in the future. And how you do that is you frame your purchase as the first in a series of many to come, all right? So when you purchase 200 clicks from a provider, you want to frame the purchase as a test run. So you want to make sure that the provider knows that you're looking for more clicks in the future, you're looking for a 500 click package, you're looking for a 1,000 click package, etc. Because that's where the money's at for the provider. Those big orders, that's where the money's at for the provider. But you want to stick with the smaller, lower level packages because you have more control over those packages. The reason you have more control over them is because you can frame the purchase as a test run. When you frame the purchase as a test run, in my own personal experience, it literally gets the provider to send you their top quality. You have to realize that these providers have huge email lists and they have different segments of these lists, right? So they'll have segments of a list that they know are buyers, but they'll never send that list if you just ask for a 1,000 click order up front, right? They'll send to the list that it's easiest to generate those clicks from. So in framing the purchase, in making sure that you stick with low level, not low level, but just smaller packages, so 200, 250, 300 clicks, etc., you're going to incentivize the seller to send you their really highest quality clicks and traffic every single time, which will result in more leads and really most importantly, more sales for you and your business. So then if the solo ad goes well, after you purchase, let's say a 200 or a 250 click solo ad, just continue to scale to 300 clicks versus jumping up to 500. So what I see is a lot of people, they'll buy a 200 click solo ad, then they'll jump right up to, let's say, 1,000 clicks, etc. So continue to scale slowly. So 300, 300 to 500, 500 to 750, etc. But continue to frame the purchase in the way that gives the solo ad seller the idea that you're looking to purchase more clicks in the future. You need to test out their list a little bit more in order to keep kind of testing out responsiveness. And what that's going to do is it's going to make the solo ad seller put their best foot forward and send the highest quality of clicks every single time you go ahead and purchase from them, when you go ahead and allude to the fact that you're looking for bigger packages in the future. So if the 300 click package goes well, I just kind of covered this, just scale slowly, all right? So scale from 300 to 500, then 750, etc., versus just jumping from 300 to 1,000. What most people do, they jump from 200 to 500, then to 1,000, etc. What you need to realize is that the smaller the packages and the more you're kind of giving the seller the idea that you're looking to test their list out and looking to test for future bigger packages, the more control over that ad you'll have. So the more likely that the seller will go ahead and send with your swipe, send the correct percentage of top tier clicks, and send just the correct percentage of clicks, actually over deliver on the percentage, or excuse me, number of clicks that you went ahead and purchased. So always frame the purchase and stick with low number of clicks per package. In framing the purchase, as discussed, you always incentivize the seller to send the highest quality of traffic in attempts to impress you into coming back and buying bigger packages, because that's where the money is at for the seller, once again. So if you keep alluding to the fact that you're coming back for bigger packages, you just want to test out their list, they're going to send you their highest quality traffic every single time. And this is what I meant by really tapping into the cream of the crop leads of these solo ads lists. This is exactly how I do that in my own personal marketing. So remember, it's your goal to minimize the risk and maximize the potential return on investment. And that means keeping as much control over the ad as possible. And framing the purchase is how I personally keep the maximum control over each solo ad transaction by incentivizing each seller to go ahead and send their best stuff. So once again, guys, watch this little portion I just kind of covered. Again, this is an extremely powerful strategy. This is kind of what makes or breaks lots of times the success of a solo ad campaign. Once again, it's a simple strategy, but it's extremely powerful. Please use it. It will help exponentially. And if you're on a budget, I just wanted to add in this note, the larger a package you go with, the less control you'll have over that ad. So the more likely it is the solo ad seller, will take a shortcut that will hurt your conversion rates. So usually what it'll be them sending with blind swipe copy. So what I would highly recommend is, if you're on a budget, only scale to 500 and then 1,000 clicks with people who you connect with personally and who you really trust, and you really know they're going to send high quality clicks once you've purchased those larger volumes. And you need to know that based on tracked metrics, which we'll talk about in just a second. But once again, if you're on a tight budget, I don't recommend scaling above 250 clicks. Make the seller want to perform highly in order to get repeat business, and then just go ahead and move on to the next seller. Purchase another order from the next seller, frame the purchase as one in many to come, etc., like we just talked about, and continue to do that seller to seller to seller. And literally with a 250 click package, if your capture page is converting at 40%, like ideally it will if you're using one of the Elite Marketing Pro capture pages that convert absolutely amazingly, right? If you're purchasing 250 clicks, that's going to be about 100 leads a day. And I know for me personally, when I was first getting started with my business, I would have been ecstatic at 100 leads a day, and they're going to be high quality 100 leads a day. So that's one of the more powerful strategies I personally recommend. Frame every purchase as one of many to come, and keep your packages small and kind of agile. Unless you really trust a vendor, don't scale up to 750, 1,000 clicks, etc., because you start to lose control over the actual ad. So what to track? Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and get a quick drink of water here before we dive in. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what to track here. So with each solo ad, there are 3 key metrics to measure: total number of clicks received, total conversions per clicks received. So if you get 500 clicks, you need to know exactly how many leads those clicks turned into, and then the quality of traffic received. So going the extra mile, when most people purchase a solo ad, the only thing they'll track is the total number of clicks received. So if they ordered 500 clicks, they'll track to make sure that they received their 500 clicks, and then they'll just leave it at that. What I'm telling you is that it's imperative for you to go the extra mile and track everything humanly possible, because simply put, it's the difference between an amateur marketer and professional marketer. Professional marketers, they know their numbers, they know exactly what's going on in their businesses. With their solo ad marketing, they know exactly who's performing best, exactly who they should go back to and give more money, exactly who they should scale with in the future, exactly who they should purchase from in the future again, all right? So make sure you track those 3 components in every single solo ad. The good news is that all 3 of the key metrics you need to track can be done with a simple tracking tool called Click Magic, and this isn't me trying to sell Click Magic, it's just what I'm personally using in my solo ad marketing. I know there's other tracking platforms out there that do the same. Quality Click Control is one. AdTrack's Gold is one. ClickMagick is just the one that I use personally in my business. That's the easiest and the most simple to read the numbers from the back office, in my personal experience at least. So total number of clicks. This should be obvious, but for each solo ad you want to purchase, you need to track the total number of clicks you received in order to be sure that the provider fulfilled upon the total number of clicks you ordered. So if you order 500, make sure the provider went ahead and sent 500. If they send 400, you need to go ahead and get in contact with that provider and ask for those extra clicks. This is a business. This is not a charity. If someone goes ahead and under-delivers based on what you went ahead and ordered, you need to contact them and make sure they fulfill upon whatever you went ahead and agreed upon to start out with. 2, conversions per vendor. So the second metric is also crucial because you need to know which vendor's traffic is converting best, so you can go back and purchase more clicks from those individuals whose traffic performs best. So you can track this by adding a tracking pixel to your thank you page, and there's tons of tutorials out there. If you're an Elite Marketing Pro member, there's tutorials everywhere in the Elite Marketing Pro back office. There's tutorials everywhere just on YouTube. This is very simple and easy to do. I'm not going to show you how to do it in this presentation, but what this will more or less allow you to do is to see exactly how many leads you're getting from each individual vendor, which will then give you a better idea as to which vendors are sending ethically using your swipe copy, the top tier clicks, etc. So if someone sends you 500 clicks and you only get 100 leads and it's a 20% opt-in rate and your capture page usually converts at 40%, you know that that vendor probably didn't send in the most ethical way. They probably didn't send using your swipe copy, etc., right? So you need to be tracking exactly how many leads you're getting from each specific vendor. And once again, it's extremely easy to do this with just individual tracking links and then a global tracking pixel on your thank you page. Tons of tutorials out there. Just make sure you're tracking the conversions per vendor. 3, the quality of clicks. So again, this is very simple to track, and it can actually be done in about 10 seconds in the ClickMagick back office. It's really easy to track in the quality click control back office also. It's more or less, there's a little kind of pie chart in the ClickMagick back office, and there's little stat sheets in the quality click control back office, excuse me, and it will show you the exact percentage of traffic and exactly what countries your traffic is coming from. But remember, when purchasing clicks, you want to ask for at least 85% of your clicks to be top tier. So when the vendor agrees, it's then your job to make sure that they sent the desired quality of clicks, 85% plus top tier. If they don't, bring it to their attention, ask for more clicks, or ask for a refund. This is business. So once again, it blows my mind when I work with people and they kind of said that they asked for 85% top tier clicks and they only sent 50% and they don't know what they should do, right? What you do is you get in contact with that vendor and you let them know they more or less didn't fulfill on what they actually offered and what you agreed upon, and then you either ask for more clicks on top of it, or you ask for a refund, you ask for your money back. But do something about it. Don't be passive in the process. Track your numbers, make sure people are sending ethically, make sure people are sending the correct percentage of top tier traffic. If they're not, focus on doing something about it, take action, and actually do something proactive in order to get that individual to make up for what they've really charged you for but not delivered on. Scaling your clicks. So once again, I'm going to talk about scaling here for a second, guys, but if you're on a budget, I personally, once again, recommend sticking with 200 to 250 click packages, focusing on optimizing your conversions. That will get you anywhere from 80 to 100 leads every single day if you're purchasing a 200 to 250 click solo ad package every single day, etc. And you just have a lot more control over that order. But in talking about scaling, knowing when to scale comes down to being able to read your tracked metrics and then knowing what you should be looking for conversion-wise, all right? So it's all about conversions. It's all about how many leads and sales you're getting. So let's talk about what you should be looking for. So the 3 tracked metrics that you need to review are the quality of click, the number of opt-ins, and the number of sales. When it comes to clicks, you just need to make sure, once again, that the quality of clicks you received are equal to what you ordered. 85% top tier, 80% top tier, 70% top tier. Lots of people will go ahead and purchase 70% top tier traffic. If that's something you have worked out with the provider, just make sure that they fulfill upon whatever that percentage is that you went ahead and agreed upon. Secondly, when it comes to opt-ins, you're looking for 35 to 40% opt-in rates or higher. And this is kind of as long as you already know that your capture page is converting. So if you've tested your capture page, you know that your capture page is supposed to convert at just about 35, 40%, etc. That's what you're looking for, because when a solo ad seller goes ahead and sends out their list and you see those opt-in percentages, you know that they're sending with your email swipe copy, you know that they're sending high quality clicks, you know that they're going ahead and sending ethically, which can give you more confidence in moving forward and scaling. Third, when your capture page is converting at 35% plus, you can pretty much be sure the provider is sending using your email swipes. This is kind of what I just talked about. If they were to be using a blind swipe, so if they were to be sending with a non-congruent swipe, there wouldn't be the congruency with your capture page and your opt-in rate would suffer. So look for 35% plus capture page conversion rates, ideally 40% plus. But I highly recommend testing your capture page, knowing what your capture page is supposed to convert at, so you're not judging the solo ad seller when in reality your capture page is just not optimized and it's converting at 20%, right? So make sure that your capture page is optimized and really optimized to convert at anywhere between 30 and 40%, 35 and 40% ideally, and then make your decision on whether you want to scale based on whether you see those tracked percentages and whether you see those conversions from traffic to lead. Then when it comes to sales, your conversions will always depend on what you're promoting, how many others are promoting it, and what price the product or the system is that you're personally selling. What I like to personally see in my own solo ad marketing is at least a 1% sale conversion rate. And when I say this, I mean with the follow-up emails in place, all right? So once I have someone send out to their list and that person goes through the follow-up emails, I want to see at least a 1% sales conversion rate. And that means that for every 100 leads you generate, you should be seeing a sale. And that's why I always start my campaigns at 200 to 250 clicks, because when you purchase 250 clicks and you get your desired 40% opt-in rate with a lead to sale conversion rate of 1%, that means you should go ahead and see a sale from that package that you went ahead and ordered, right? Whether or not I get the sale on the 250 click package is what determines whether or not I scale. No sale, no scaling. So a little mindset shift I think a lot of people in the industry need to have. Building an email list is awesome. Generating leads is totally awesome, but sales are really the only thing that matters. So if you're tapping into all these people's lists that are sending you amazing numbers leads-wise, and you're building a list really fast, but you're not making any sales, you're going to go out of business pretty quickly. So make sure you look at the number of sales you're getting per opt-in rate you're getting, or excuse me, not per opt-in rate. What am I trying to search for? Make sure you're just looking at your numbers and make sure you're getting at least a 1% conversion rate from actual lead to sale versus traffic to lead, all right? So scaling your clicks from there, after I've gotten a sale, I'll continue to slowly scale. So from 250 to 300, 300 to 500, 500 to 750. And this is what I talked about when I talked about framing the purchase. As I scale, I'll tell them that, you know, the solo ad, it went pretty good, but I kind of need to test a little bit more before I really open up the floodgates and let this thing really rip. So let's go ahead and move up to 300 and then 400 clicks, etc. So it's all in the way you communicate with the solo ad vendor that will determine how high of a quality of a click you'll actually receive. The main thing to pay attention to is whether or not your numbers stay consistent. So when you scale from 200 to 300 clicks, make sure your numbers stay consistent in regards to traffic quality, opt-in rates, and 1% sales conversion rate. So if you're seeing 35% conversion rates from traffic to lead and then 1% sale conversion rates from lead to sales with a 200 click package, but then you scale to 400 clicks, let's say, and those numbers diminish, it means that the solo ad sellers probably adjusted something in the way they're sending their traffic. So make sure your numbers stay consistent as you start to scale your solo ad marketing. If, as you continue to scale, your numbers stay consistent across the board, you've found a winner in the vendor, all right? Take note of who that vendor is and then go back and purchase clicks from them each and every single month. So once again, one of the reasons why I personally like solo ads so much is once you've found a certain number of vendors who will send high quality traffic in ethical ways, you can literally just go back and purchase from those vendors every single month. Obviously, it's kind of going to vary depending on how much traffic and what your budget is, right? But usually for most people, if you find anywhere from 10 to 15 vendors who are sending in high quality, ethical ways, that's going to be enough traffic for you for a month, right? So whenever you find a vendor and you follow this process, and as you've scaled your clicks, your numbers have stayed consistent across the boards, you know that you found a winner. Take note of who that vendor is, build a relationship with that vendor, reach out with them, you know, ask them what you can do for them, ask them if you know you can serve them in any way, become friends with those individuals. Lots of the people who I buy traffic from, I'm actively friends with, and because of that, I get extremely high level quality of clicks, and I get better deals than everybody else who's probably getting a lesser quality of click. So find those vendors that are winners and then build a strong relationship with those vendors. Again though, if you're on a tight budget, I'm just going to reinforce this over and over. I don't recommend scaling above 250 clicks. That's 100 leads a day. That's plenty of leads a day if you're on a tight budget. Just make sure that you make the seller want to perform highly in order to get more repeat business. So frame the purchase and then go and do the same with another seller. So go and do the same with someone else offering you solo ads in the Facebook groups, Skype groups, etc. So stick to small packages if you're on a tight budget. So from here, we're going to go ahead and talk about effective swipe copy, and I'm going to get some of your guys' offers. Andrew, you there, bud?
Absolutely.
There you are. Cool. So yeah, I was going to just go ahead and, well, firstly, does anybody have any questions? I can't actually see the I can't see the questions coming in, so let me know.
Oh, let's see. Well, actually, let's see. You appear to have the correct permissions to see questions. Are the questions missing from your control panel?
I see. No, okay. I'm seeing some now. Got it. Conversion rate is 1%. Is that from opt-ins? So 1%, I'm looking for a sales conversion rate. So traffic to lead, I'm always looking for a 35 to 40% opt-in rate with my solo ad marketing. Then from lead to sale, I'm looking for on the front end, so the first point of contact, the first time someone sees my sales video, and then goes through my follow-up series without me actively sending broadcasts, getting them on webinars, getting them on coaching calls, etc. I'm looking for a 1% lead to sale conversion rate. So that's a question Kurt asked, and yeah, that's what my answer would be. Can you offer a sample ad to see what swipe looks like? Yeah, Michael, I'm actually going to be writing some swipes right now, so if you want to send in an offer that you might be wanting swipe for, I'll actually write it for you. I can find other offers if not. I would stay away from brokers, Rodney. Just stay away from list brokers in general. Brokers. There are reputable traffic brokers, but in my opinion, the more control over the ad you have, the more one-on-one interaction you have with the seller versus just going straight to a broker and ordering 2,000 clicks to be delivered over the course of a month, etc. Like lots of the traffic brokers go ahead and do, the better your results will be. So, yeah. Very, very interesting. Buying lists, I'd rather generate my own leads, Juma. So buying buyers, it's just, that has to do with buying leads and buying lists. I personally don't like doing it. Yeah, so does anybody have offers that they want me to go ahead and write swipe copy for? I'm going to get into exactly what my strategy is when it comes to writing swipe copy here in a moment. But if you have actual offers that you want me to write swipe copy for, just go ahead and submit those offers, whether it be an affiliate offer, your own offer, etc., and I'll write some swipe copy for it. Let me go ahead and dive into what my little formula is for writing effective swipe copy. So the first thing to realize is that your swipe copy with solo ads, you want it to be short, punchy, to the point, and you want it to be very congruent to your capture page. So you don't want to be writing 500-word swipe copy, 1,000-word swipe copy, etc. It's literally a couple sentences and then a very congruent, almost headline, in your body copy, which goes ahead and shows up on your capture page. So my personal swipe copy formula, once again, your swipe copy is your ad, so you need to make sure you have swipe copy. It would be the equivalent of your Facebook ad and image and text that would show up in someone's newsfeed. So without that, imagine running a Facebook ad where you don't put an image and you don't put text, right? That's more or less what you're doing if you purchase a solo ad and then you just don't go ahead and give the vendor a swipe copy that you want to go ahead and send with. That vendor is going to send with whatever type of copy will generate the maximum number of clicks per fewest emails that they can send to their list, and that's going to hurt your conversion rate big time. So make sure you use swipe copy every single time. Swipe copy is absolutely necessary in order to have congruency throughout your entire sales funnel. And congruency is always key when it comes to conversions. Use your own swipe copy in every single ad. So I'm just kind of beating this into the ground, but make sure you use your own swipe copy in every single ad. And my formula for my swipe copy is you want to identify with your prospect's pain. So this kind of comes down to knowing your target market, knowing where your prospects are, knowing exactly what they're dealing with, what their fears are, etc., what's keeping them back, what's holding them back in their business. So you want to identify with those pains. You then want to grab their attention and make a bold promise, and then you offer your product as a solution with congruent text to the capture page, to your capture page. So once again, it's extremely simple to do. Does anybody have offers that they'd like me to write copy for, or should I write copy for maybe an Elite Marketing Pro offer and maybe AMF?
Yeah, I definitely see some folks commenting. Let's see, EMP was one. The Ignition Coaching Program was another. I think AMF would be a fantastic offer. I know a lot of people are promoting AMF.
Okay. So, Andrew, could you do me a favor and grab a link to AMF just so I can see the capture page? And
sure.
I will add, I'll write for this Ignition offer. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Let's see if anyone else can find a link faster than I can. Let's see if anyone can beat me to it.
All right. So here we go. This is for the Ignition Coaching Program. Multi-million-dollar internet entrepreneur reveals a simple shortcut you can use to get cash in the next 7 days. So firstly, you need to identify your target market. So the target market for this ad is obviously internet marketers, right? So knowing your target market is one of the most important things in just general marketing, knowing where your prospects are at, knowing how to meet them where they're at, etc. So I know personally from my own experience before I broke through and saw any level of success in my business, I know from just doing market research that one of the big pains for a lot of internet marketers is the fact that they're spending a ton of time on their business, they're spinning their wheels, they're spending the time in front of their computer, but they're not seeing any results. They're in a state of overwhelm. They know that this thing can lead to a business and a lifestyle business that they're really looking for, but they haven't seen it yet, right? So the first thing I would do is I would identify with that pain. So can you see my screen, Andrew? Am I all good?
Yep, they can definitely see your screen.
Cool. All right, so go ahead. If you're sick and tired of spinning your wheels, constant overwhelm, spending more than you make, and putting your dream and putting your dream lifestyle on hold. That's one that I got from Tim Irway, just to give credit where it's due. So if you're sick and tired of spinning your wheels, constant overwhelm, spending more than you make, those are all pains that those people are feeling, right? Putting your dream lifestyle on hold, pay attention, ... because this will be the most important email ever read, as I'm about to reveal to you. So at this point, we've identified with their pains, we've made big claim, more or less. We've grabbed their attention. So if you're sick and tired of spinning your wheels, constant overwhelm, spending more than you make, and putting your dream lifestyle on hold, pay attention, because this will be the most important email you've ever read, as I'm about to reveal to you. And then from there, I would literally take this capture page headline, copy it, and go ahead and paste that in there. Then I'd put my link. And then this would probably be the solo ad seller's name. So that would be it right there. So if you're sick and tired of spinning your wheels, constant overwhelm, spending more than you make, and putting your dream lifestyle on hold, pay attention, because this will be the most important email you've ever read, as I'm about to reveal to you. How would we work this in? Multi-million-dollar internet entrepreneur reviews. So I would say something like a simple shortcut, multi-million-dollar, oops. Uses, can't type at the same time. And how you can use it to get cash in the next 7 days. So in putting a very similar portion of, in making a very similar, like in making part of the text in your solo ad very similar to the actual capture page, what you need to realize is that the only people that are actually going to click this link, or most of the people that are going to click this link, are people that have identified with this pain and are interested in the simple shortcut that a multi-million-dollar internet entrepreneur uses and how they can use it to get cash in the next 7 days. So they open their email, put yourself in the prospect's position, right? They open the email, you're speaking directly to where they are in their business, you're speaking directly to their frustrations. You create immediate identification, which is one of the fastest ways to create responsiveness with your new leads, to identify with their problems. You identify with their problems, and then you offer them a solution in a very congruent way, very congruent way to what your capture page is going ahead and offering. Sorry, wrong thing. And what that will do is it will qualify each click, and every single click that goes ahead and heads over to this capture page will be that much more likely to opt in from this pre-frame. So that would be one example for the Ignition coaching program. Let's go ahead and grab the AMF link down here. Did we ever get an AMF link?
Check the chat box. I chatted you over a couple links.
There we go. Okay, perfect. So AMF. Let's write some slide copy for this. All right, so this target market is different than the last offer. The last offer was more internet marketer related. This is more network marketing related, right? So you need to ask yourself, firstly, what do network marketers more or less hate? What pains are they dealing with? What frustrations are they dealing with? What's keeping them up at night? What is just really kind of holding them back in their businesses and keeping them from moving forward? And while I know I'm not actively in a network marketing company, I've studied network marketing, and lots of the people that I've studied with have been extremely successful network marketers. So I know the market kind of intimately just based on what they've shared with me. And I know that generating leads and cold calling and genealogy lists and bugging family and friends, those are all pains that network marketers have. So where I would start out with is, if you're sick and tired of buying crappy leads. Chasing cold calling, if you're sick and tired of buying leads, chasing friends, cold calling, unresponsive lists, pay attention as this. And then again, we go right here. And back here. Boom. Boom. So if you're sick and tired of buying crappy leads, buying genealogy lists, buying I don't know how to spell that. Buying genealogy leads, chasing your family and friends, or cold calling unresponsive lists. Let's make it a little bit more painful. Unresponsive lists, unresponsive leads who hang up in your face, ... Pay attention, as this is the most important email you'll ever read, as I'm about to reveal to you an easy way to recruit people into your MLM business online, rejection-free, without wasting your time and money chasing deadbeat prospects and leads. So what you're doing here, once again, you're identifying with the prospect's pain. Identification is really one of the fastest ways to build responsiveness and rapport with a prospect who's cold to you, who doesn't know what your offer is, who doesn't know what you're all about. You're then making a bold promise and grabbing their attention, and you're sending them over to a capture page after they've showed that they're interested in what your capture page is going to be based around, based on going ahead and inserting the link into your solo ad text. So an easy way to recruit people into your MLM business online, rejection-free, without wasting your time and energy and money chasing deadbeat prospects and leads. So only after someone reads this text do they ever click the link, and if someone does come through this text, read this headline, and then click over to this capture page, it's going to be pretty likely that they'll be a very responsive lead. You're doing a few things here. You're providing catharsis to your leads, so you're providing an emotional release. Their emotions are tied up in these things. They've been chasing their family and friends. They've been getting hung up on calling these leads that they don't know, etc. They're dealing with a ton of pain, and then you're giving them a way out of that pain by recruiting into their MLM business online, rejection-free, without wasting your time chasing your family and friends or deadbeat prospects and leads. So there's a lot going on here. There's identification, there's catharsis, there's qualifying them before they go ahead and head over to their capture page. So whoever reads this email, takes action, and clicks this link will be a very responsive lead, or will be a very responsive visitor to your capture page. And then if they go ahead and take action based on what we talked upon earlier, the process in which they're getting on someone else's list, they're receiving emails from that person. They're then seeing your email, which is identifying with them, providing catharsis to them, and then only then clicking over to your capture page. There's a process there that creates that prospect and turns that prospect into very responsive traffic in my own personal experience. And writing the email swipe copy in this way is really kind of this, and selecting the right vendors. If you just get those two things right, your solo ads will be 10x more profitable than if you're selecting the wrong vendors and just sending with whatever the vendor wants to actually send with. Because lots of times the vendor will go ahead and say, you know, I know my list really well, let me send with my swipe copy. Don't do it. Use this formula I just gave you. Identify with their pain, make a bold claim, and then literally just paste in the headline, work it around like you need to, kind of like I did here, to have it make sense. Offer congruency from the actual ad to the capture page, and your conversions will be that much better. So that's my little swipe copy formula. Did you guys like that? You guys have any questions, etc.? The last thing we're going to touch on is just capture pages and what kind of capture pages tend to work and which kind of capture pages don't work. So that's not going to take very long. What? To use a link shortener. Bob, in my personal experience, I just use ClickMagick, the tracking platform, and those links, they're not super long, but they're not super short either, and it doesn't really make a difference. So you don't need to use like Bitly or anything like that. Just make sure that the copy itself is congruent, if it identifies with the pain, if in this case it provides catharsis to your prospects and to your leads, the length of your link isn't really going to matter that much. People will take action and they'll click, and they'll be pretty responsive when they go ahead and they land on your capture page. So, yeah, link shortener, nice. Thank you, Brian. Great info. Thank you, Brian. What about subject lines? Okay, so subject lines, usually what I would use is for Elite Marketing Pro. Let's use that as an example. So, new tab. Great question, by the way. Pro.com/RP. So your swipe copy, the main thing is that it's congruent to your capture page, right? So you want to look at the capture page and then ask yourself what's a congruent subject line you can use that will get people to open, but then once they click, they'll be seeing the same thing throughout that entire process in order to get them to take action, right? So Elite Marketing Pro here, the simple 5-step formula reveals so you can unlock 13 brand new income streams and make up to $1,983.87 in the next 7 days, all on complete autopilot. So it would be something very simple, and it would go like this. So we'll do one more swipe copy here. Yeah. Subject. How you can unlock 13 brand new income streams and make up to $1,983 in the next 7 days. So income, that might not get through spam filters, etc. So you might want to even get rid of this. How to make up to 1,000. The point of the subject line is to pique curiosity, right? So the point of the subject line is to pique curiosity and bait them into reading your body copy. Then with your body copy, the point is to provide identification and provide congruent copy to your capture page before they go ahead and take action and head over to your capture page. So again, this is the internet marketing world. So if you're sick and tired of spinning your wheels, losing money, and putting your dream lifestyle on hold, a extension as about to be and then I'll go ahead and do this. The simple 5-step formula that unlocks 13 brand new income streams and can make you up to $1,983 in the next 7 days, all on complete autopilot. Link. Boom. So right there. Subject line, revealed how to make up to $1,983 in the next 7 days. This piques their curiosity, gets them to take action and open the email. From then, you're hoping to, or you're looking to identify with that prospect's pain. You're looking to really put that prospect into a state of feeling like you understand exactly where they are, you understand what their struggles are, you understand what's keeping them up at night, you understand what's keeping them from moving forward, etc. So you do that by speaking directly to their pain, identifying with their pains, offer a bold, or grab their attention, then offer a bold promise, and then go ahead and use congruent swipe copy to the capture page. So anybody who goes ahead and clicks has already seen pre-frame to your capture page and will be more likely to go ahead and opt in. So that's exactly how I write swipe copy. I think that answers your question in regards to subject lines. Just look at your capture page. So if we go back here, I would go like this. Up here, where is it? Right here. So the subject line for AMF would be subject. Rejection free. That could work right there. Finally, an easy way to recruit people into your business, into your MLM business, online, rejection free, or online ... without picking up the phone. So anything that's congruent to your capture page, just more or less focus on piquing curiosity with the subject line in a fashion that's congruent, to your capture page, and then focus on moving them through the process of identifying with their pain, going ahead, offering your solution or offering your product or service as a solution to their pain, and doing it in a congruent manner where you work on their emotions through identifying with their pains and their struggles, etc. If you do that, if you follow that formula, the people who hit your capture page will be so much more responsive than if you just send them any old email with any old link. So does that make sense to you, Andrew? Does that cover swipe copy, you think?
Yeah, and I love how simple it is. From one perspective, it's so short, it's so to the point. It's really not a lot of copy. You're on the hook to create and to keep it congruent, like you were saying, which is so important. You're really borrowing so much copy from the capture page itself. So I think that's super cool. It's the actual kind of labor involved is a lot more minimal than I initially thought. The emails themselves are a lot shorter than I imagined they would be. So that's super cool. I mean, that's good news for everyone.
Yeah, and that's something that I think a lot of people kind of get held up on because they think it should be harder and they think it should be more complicated. But with solo ads, I mean, you're looking to drive people to your capture page and generate a lead, obviously, right? And if you go ahead and write some 500-word email that you want a solo ad vendor to send, they just won't send it to your list or to their list because they know that it won't generate clicks, right? So you need to do this in a fashion that works for you and works for the solo ad vendor. And how you do that is you keep the copy really short, really punchy, really to the point, but then you also work in some direct response principles and the fact that you're identifying with their pains, you're really kind of offering them a solution out of what they're dealing with, you're offering them a better way, and then you have to do it in a congruent way so that when people land on their capture page, they're pre-framed to be interested in what you have to offer and take action and go ahead and opt in. So yeah, I like it because it's really simple, like I said earlier.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's a great tutorial, and I like the demonstration. That was very effective.
So Bob just asked, do you use the same swipe copy from email to email for the same offer, or do you switch it up? What do you mean by that, Bob? Do you use the same swipe copy from email to email for the same offer? Like for different solo ad vendors, I would just use the same swipe copy. If you're sending to someone's list, like let's say you find someone and you know their list is really responsive and you want to send 2 solo ads in the same week, you might want to create a different hook and create a different way where you pique their curiosity in a different fashion, etc. But if you're sending to Bob and then to Andrew and then to Misha's list, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they're all separate lists. Chances are that most of the leads that are subscribed to those lists aren't the same leads that are subscribed to the other lists. So just go ahead and use the same copy. That's what I personally do, and should work fine for you. I think that's what your question was. So yeah, let's go ahead. You ready to hop back into this, Andrew? Really, there's only one more thing that I'm going to show you, and it's going to be pretty quick, and then we can take questions and answers to finish off. That sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Absolutely.
Cool. Perfect. So capture pages that work with solo ads. And one sec, I keep going into presenter mode before I minimize this. So capture pages that work with solo ads are capture pages that are very simple and based around piquing curiosity. So one of my mentors outside of Lead Marketing Pro, he always talks about the thirsty deer analogy, and he talks about building your capture page around using the psychology of a thirsty deer who wants water but will go ahead and run away at any sign of a threat, right? So what you need to realize is that your prospects, they want what you have to offer. If you're targeting the right people with your solo ads, if you're targeting the right lists, they want what you have to offer. They want that solution. But they're also skittish because they've maybe been ripped off in the past. They've maybe purchased something that hasn't been fulfilled upon, right? So look at your prospect as the thirsty deer. And what I mean by that is if a thirsty deer sees a pool of water off in the distance, they're going to take action steps in order to get to that water, but if anything turns them off and scares them, they'll be gone very quickly. So the point of your capture pages with solo ad marketing is to simply pique someone's curiosity just enough in order to want them to drink that water, but then not give them any reason to not take action. All right, so that's the thirsty deer analogy. I'm going to show you some examples right here in a moment. So this is the Elite Marketing Pro capture page. This is absolutely a capture page that would convert very well. So this capture page is literally based around simply piquing curiosity. The simple 5-step formula reveals how you can unlock 13 brand new income streams and make up to $1,983.87 in the next 7 days, all on complete autopilot. It also provides some catharsis to your prospects because it gives them what they want in making money, and it takes away that pain of sitting in front of the computer grinding away for 24 hours a day when they say all on complete autopilot. And then there's nothing else on this page that would turn someone off and get someone into the point of even having a second guess as to whether or not they should take that action and move forward. So these are the types of capture pages that work very well. And what it's called is it's not a performance-based capture page. It's a more bulk media style capture page. So there's performance-based traffic, and then there's bulk kind of based traffic. Andrew, what's the word I'm looking for? Performance-based versus, I'm just blanking on it right now.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what word you're looking for.
Okay, well I'll try to explain it. Performance-based is more or less where you're only paying when someone takes an action. So in a CPA network, if you have your offer and you're only paying when someone goes ahead and opts in, you can put a little bit more on your capture page that kind of more or less almost disqualifies people that are going to be less likely to buy, right? With solo ads, you don't want to do that. So with solo ads, you want to focus your capture pages in on piquing curiosity and then asking them to take the action. So this would be a performance-based capture page, and as you can see, there's a big headline, there's a sub-headline, there's a video, you're asking for their name, you're asking for their email, etc. This capture page would not work very well for solo ads. This, I would guess, would convert at about 20 to 25%, where the capture page I just showed you would convert anywhere between 35 to 40%, pretty much like clockwork. Again, this is another example of one of my other mentors' capture pages, how to get 37 checks per month, earn upwards of $4,954.55 while you sleep at night, and recruit without ever having to pick up the phone. So once again, if you're a network marketer and you see this capture page, you're thinking, wow, I can recruit without picking up the phone, I can make money while I'm sleeping, I can, cash in 37 checks a month, and then all it's actually asking you to do is take a small step forward, which will in turn result in you going ahead and plugging your name and email into the capture page, or just your email even. This is another performance-based capture page that would work really well for warm traffic. This would work really well for CPA networks, etc., but it wouldn't work very well for solo ads. There's a big headline, there's a big sub-headline, there's a video, there's another little sub-headline before the actual opt-in box. That's a little layover, so if someone clicks that, an opt-in box would pop up. So there's just a lot going on. So I think you're seeing a commonality in the fact that the pages that work well with solo ads are the very simple pages. This is one of my capture pages. So the simple 3-step system that took this once broke, humiliated, and overwhelmed 24-year-old from $9,755 in debt to $12,484.90 per month in just 6 months and exactly how you can use it to do the same. So I piqued curiosity, and then I just kind of, this is actually a micro commitment capture page, so you're actually asking for even a smaller level of commitment first before you ask for an email address or a name and email, etc. And that increases your conversions. But the main point is that there's really no resistance and there's nothing to scare your prospect away from going ahead and opting in. And again, this is another example that wouldn't work. So the 7 deadliest eBay sins, there's a big headline, there's a big subheadline, there's graphics everywhere, there's a video, there's a name and email box, etc. These pages could convert really well for warm traffic, for different traffic mediums, for CPA networks where you're paying for opt-in versus paying for traffic up front, etc. But for my personal experience, they don't work with solo ads at all. So that's pretty much all I got on capture pages. I didn't want to do a full-on run-through on building them because there's so much information in the Elite Marketing Pro back office. There's so much information in the back office of any really capture page builder on how you can build these things. Just know that these simple capture pages based around piquing curiosity and getting someone to take the next action is what worked best for solo ads. And moving on, I'm pretty much through, Andrew. You guys can go ahead and claim your free gift at marketingwithmisha.com/proven vendors. And that is my 20 proven to convert vendors. And what I'm actually going to send you when you opt in there is I'm going to send you the Excel spreadsheet of my proven to convert vendors, and then I'm also going to send you video proof. That's actually me logging into my Elite Marketing Pro back office, showing you that each of these vendors has not only produced leads, but also produced sales for me in my business. So you guys are getting the goods here. That's, I think, pretty valuable for all of you if you decide that you want to go ahead and use solo ads in your business. And once again, that's marketingwithmisha.com/proven vendors. And that's it. You guys have any more questions, comments, feedback? Anything you want me to cover besides what we've talked about?
Awesome, man. Very, very cool. I love how simple, not only the emails are simple, the capture page is simple, it's just overall the strategy relies on simplicity, which is a really cool thing. So
Refreshing, isn't it?
yeah, right?
I personally like it.
I like it.
Your whole goal with solo ad marketing should be to find about 10 to 20 vendors that send ethically and send really high quality clicks. And after you do that, you can literally set up your ads to go out on autopilot. And then all you have to do is sit back and watch and make sure that numbers stay consistent. And then as long as numbers stay consistent, your traffic can just pretty much go out on complete autopilot. You send them payments on certain days of the month. They'll send your ad out on those corresponding days. And you have the steady influx of traffic, and you know exactly when you should be marketing hard to your list and putting offers in front of your list based on having new leads come in. And you know when you don't necessarily need to be doing that. You can be sending them to blog posts more value-based marketing, etc. That kind of links into more of the follow-up, which is important as always. But yeah, man, it's nice, it's simple, it's to the point, and once you kind of get in the game, and sometimes you got to lose a couple of dollars in order to finally get over that hurdle. So if you find a vendor that doesn't work for you, don't let it dishearten you and turn you off from the strategy altogether. There are plenty of vendors out there that sell really high quality traffic that converts into leads, into sales, and I'm just kind of proof of that because this is literally the single traffic method I've used. I've only branched out with my traffic generation in the last, I would say, month to CPA networks, and so it's gotten me to where I am using just solo ads.
Very cool, very cool. Well, and we definitely appreciate you coming in and sharing all this hard-won knowledge with us. Tell us, while the questions are coming in, we're going to be doing a follow-up presentation. Give us a little preview of what that's going to be all about. Okay.
So another key element to solo ads, and it's really, I think, any marketing with solo ads, kind of even maybe more than other marketing, what you need to realize is that solo ad traffic generation is extremely cold traffic, right? So if you have someone hitting a YouTube video and watching a presentation from you, and then going ahead and taking action and opting in after that presentation. They're pretty warm. They're going to be opening emails. They're going to be clicking on your offers. There's going to be a higher level of lead to sale conversion rate. With solo ads, you really need to be focusing on pretty aggressively marketing to your new leads directly after they've opted in. What I mean by that is just getting in front of them very consistently and very regularly in that first 7 to 14 day period after they go ahead and join your email list. And so really what the second webinar is going to be all about is really about follow-up, the sales process I use. So I have an automated webinar that plays to my list, or not to everyone that opts in, but I have a certain follow-up campaign that goes out to people directly after opting in that's really just about introducing who you are and showing your offer to your new list again and getting in front of your list and creating polarization with your audience, etc. And then I have another campaign that kind of runs on autopilot. It's an automated webinar campaign. And I can break down the follow-up strategies I use. I can break down what turns more leads into sales. And I can break down how you market to your leads after they go through that initial kind of process in order to create a warmer level of lead for future promotion. So that's really what I was going to be thinking of covering in the next webinar, if that sounds good. Yeah, it was really going to be all based around follow-up. This was more based on kind of selecting vendors that will send high-quality traffic, which is definitely half the battle. But the other half of the battle is turning those leads that come onto your list that don't buy on the first point of contact into sales. And that's what I was going to cover on the second webinar.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And let's see, a couple people, I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat window the link for folks. I see a couple people had some issues. I'm going to go ahead and, it looks like the page is loading for me. I'm going to go ahead and try and opt in here and make sure everything's working for the bonus.
Cool.
Yep, everything works for me. So, okay, cool. So I'm hearing from folks. All right, yeah, just use the link that I put in the chat window, and I think you guys will be good. So, awesome.
At least I double-checked it right before we hopped on and it was working. So
yeah, it was working for me just now. So I think, yeah, I think folks just use the link I put in the chat, and that should be good. Very cool, very cool. Definitely looking forward to the follow-up presentation, and yeah, that's a good idea. Hop on and be social. And any questions? We'll hang out for another couple minutes, and if anyone has any questions, we'll definitely field those. Otherwise, I would certainly encourage everyone to grab the bonus and implement this strategy. I mean, this is not something that strikes me that it takes a really long time to gear up for. So I would highly suggest for everyone that's here tonight, if you guys are interested in this strategy and you think this is something that would work well for you and your business, go out and approach a vendor, buy some clicks, and before our next presentation, you'll really be ready to implement that information. And you'll probably have some really effective questions that can really help you get to where you want to go, because you'll have some experience under your belt, and you'll know quite a bit more about what you might want to ask Misha, who's been doing this successfully for a couple years now.
Yeah, and yeah, I actually made a video about that yesterday, just kind of actually to get people on this webinar. I don't know who saw it, who did it, but it was just a video based on what I see the difference being between people who really do well and people who don't, and it's the speed of implementation. And it's that the people who do really well in the industry, they learn something and they do it really quickly. If it's something that resonates with them, it's something that they want to do in their business. So if this is something that resonates with you, and if it's something that you can see yourself doing down the line, if it's a traffic strategy that you want to try, definitely get into action mode. It's nice because it's not very complicated and it's evergreen, so it's not necessarily going to change too much. So if you can learn the process and you can actually take action and go out and create results with it, the strategies, they haven't changed for quite a while now, and you'll have a pretty consistent lead generation strategy for I don't want to say years to come, but very well years to come without some sort of slap coming around and, killing your dreams.
Right, right. I like it. I like it. Very cool. Let's see. I saw a lot of really positive feedback, so that's super cool. And I'm trying to see if there are any questions hiding out. Let's see. I definitely want to check out that video. I'll have to hunt that down.
Yeah.
Let's see. Scott had a question about budgets. You mentioned earlier that you would not pay more than 70 cents per click. Did I hear that correctly? Okay.
Correct.
And then you recommended, was it 200 clicks to start?
What I always recommend starting at ideally 250 clicks, but then not necessarily, if you're on a tight budget, you don't necessarily want to be scaling too high just because you keep control over the smaller packages. So the difference between someone who's charging, let's say $1.10, and someone who's charging 50 or 60 cents per click in the solo ad marketing marketplace, it's really usually just marketing. So if they've been around for a long time, if they have a lot of social proof, if they've gotten a lot of people results with their solo ads, their prices go up, right? Mm-hmm. But I've personally never seen that big of a difference. If I follow the process, if I qualify the vendor, if I ask them the right questions, and then if they'll send with my swipe copy, I've never seen a big difference between when I pay 50 cents per click and when I pay $1.10 per click. The only difference is that I'm a lot less profitable when I spend $1.10 per click because it's that much harder to hit my profit margin. So, yeah, I would say focus on qualifying the buyers and not paying above 70 cents per click. And then if you're on a budget, focus on low, just number of clicks packages. So 200, 250. I like 250 because if you get a 40% opt-in rate, that's about 100 leads, and you should be able to see a sale from that. So that's where that came from.
Nice. Okay. So Scott, hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking at 70 cents per click and you're buying 250 clicks, I don't know exactly what that math is, but it's obviously, it's probably around $200, to buy that amount of clicks. So that I would say that's a reasonably, small budget, even if you're starting out. So
I'll say that lots of times you can get clicks for a lot cheaper than that too that are still high quality. So there's a lot of high quality vendors out there that will send clicks for 50 cents, 45 cents per click. And so don't be turned off by those guys thinking it's too cheap because I said don't spend above 70. Just make sure you focus on the qualification process, do the research, look at the sales pages, ask the right questions. And if they're charging 40 cents per click, go ahead and try with a nice little small package, and that would be like $80 for 200 clicks. So at that point, I mean, it can be pretty easy to hit profit margins if they're sending correctly. So
makes sense, yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's see. Do you recommend, this is a question from Brian, do you recommend sending traffic to free stuff? Brian says something about a free course. Now, Brian, I don't know if you mean that it's like a free 10-day boot camp that's then, there's essentially an offer every day during the course of the boot camp, like AMF, or if this is just something that's completely free. A little unclear on that. I would think you, of course, would want to monetize as quickly as possible when you have folks' attention, like, immediately. Any thoughts on that, Misha?
Yeah, I've had my best luck sending from capture page directly to a sales video. More or less, the free offer that you're giving away is the sales video. Now, the ideal way to do that is to have your sales video kind of educating somebody on something, excuse me. So if you set up a sales video that's educating someone on how to build an email list, then you go ahead and you give them a service that'll help them build a list faster. You have your capture page designed around, the 3 simple steps to build a huge list of hyper-responsive fans without going broke. And you can send it directly to the sales page that would have to do with that, so the congruency would be there. But then you always want to ask for a sale, I'm a believer of, up front. I know that's something that kind of goes back and forth depending on the marketer, but I've always seen the fastest turnaround on making my money back and creating a positive ROI when I just ask for a sale and I don't get timid when it comes to selling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that definitely makes sense for this particular strategy since it's
cold traffic too. So yeah, you have to go for the sale because and the faster you can make sales, the faster you'll make your money back, the faster you can reinvest and scale also. So yeah.
Makes perfect sense, yeah. Let's see. It's a question from Rodney. Rodney wants to know, what is the most clicks you've ever bought in a month?
Most clicks I've ever bought in a month being like from all of my vendors. What I do usually is now that I have a bigger budget, I'll have like 5 days out of the week where I'll have 500 click packages. So I've never necessarily done the math on that, but it ends up being about 200 leads a day coming in, and that equates to a couple sales a day usually, and then from there it's just all in the follow-up and the upselling of those leads. So, but again, I would rather go with more smaller packages broken up consistently where I want to make the seller actually perform in a high-quality manner than just paying someone $10,000 for 20,000 clicks and having them blasted out kind of to their list. It's a lower quality of traffic, it's a lower quality of lead when you just send someone bulk money and hope that they send at the highest quality, in my experience at least.
Yeah, that definitely, and especially if you don't, I mean, if you've not ever done this, and I mean, that's a lot of risk. So, yeah, definitely makes sense to stay away from buying tremendous packages. Let's see.
Still confused on what 85% top to. Okay, so Marty, what I mean by top-tier traffic is traffic that comes from the English-speaking countries, so the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Ireland, New Zealand, all the countries that are predominantly English-speaking versus the Philippines versus China versus Japan, etc. So you always want to ask for 85% top-tier clicks, and then with those trackers that I mentioned, ClickMagick for one, Quality Click Control for another one, it literally, when you send them the tracking link and they send traffic to that specific link, you can log into your back office and look at the stats for that link, and it will tell you the exact percentage of traffic that came from the top-tier countries, where exactly the traffic came from, if it didn't come from the top-tier countries, etc. And so you can have a really good idea of who's sending the highest quality traffic versus maybe sending the correct number of clicks but sending only 20% top-tier traffic, because people from those countries, they'll just buy more.
Yep, that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. Dog in there, Andrew?
What's that?
You got your dog in there?
No, you know what? I'm just throwing stuff around. Is really what's going on.
Just barking. That's why. Never mind.
Oh, no, it must be some. Yeah.
Maybe he's out here. Out here hearing things.
Nice. And let's see. So we got this is actually a funny comment. So shout out to Sarah for this comment. Sarah says that we look like kids in our parents' basements. So thank you for that, Sarah. We're just living the dream. It's like we're kicking back in our t-shirts. This is what it's all about. So.
I'm in my parents' basement, but it's all good. My stuff's small.
That's right. So no, but I mean, so here's the thing. Sarah doesn't know that you're in Maui right now. So it's like we can't see the view from your webcam, but I know it's prime. So
it's hot out right now, though. It's the summertime, so it's like 95 and really humid. So it's hot out right now.
No, I hear you, man.
Be going, so it's all right.
Nice, man. Okay, so let's see. I think that is everything. I think that's all the questions for tonight. So everyone, if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Misha. Where's probably the best place if they hop on your list? Obviously, they can probably reply, or would you like folks to maybe find you on Facebook, or where's the best place for folks to get in touch if they want to ask some follow-up questions or know more, learn more about what you're doing?
I'll comment on one thing that Gary said. I don't know why it would be, but he said that the email went to spam. So if you went ahead and opted in for the proven vendors, there's a good chance it went to spam. If it went to spam for Gary's, maybe I had some type of, I don't know, power word in there that the spam filters don't like. But then also on that page with that video, I have a link to my Solo Ad Success Formula Facebook group. So the Solo Ad Success Formula is my course I'm getting ready to release, and that's going to be the area for all my buyers. So I have put a link to that Facebook group, so you can just ask me questions there. So I've got a Facebook group for you guys to ask me questions. I got the Proven to Convert vendors, but it looks like it went to your spam.
Got it. Okay.
And then yeah, you can find me on Facebook too. You can, if you want to connect personally via my profile, whatever you guys want. I reply to all the people who are on my list and ask questions, so you can do it there. If I don't happen to reply, just go ahead and find me on Facebook or join the group and ask me there, and I'll get back to you ASAP.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to see if the email went to my spam folder as well. Let's see.
Yeah, Gary, that's right. It's got two. I don't even know what the sign is. Gary said it came from Misha Wilson with the two little squiggly marks. That's what I have it set to.
Let's see. Now I forget which email address I used. Okay, yeah, so folks, definitely check your spam folders if you are having any trouble getting the email. Otherwise, definitely reach out on Facebook, or if all else fails, you can always shoot me an email, and I can point you in the right direction. So we got you covered.
Is I have Infusionsoft. That's on my Get Response. So I have Infusionsoft, so I can actually import the leads into Infusion and just send another email. Hopefully won't go to spam. So
okay, perfect.
On too. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, we definitely appreciate it. I'm absolutely looking forward to our next presentation. We don't have that on the calendar yet. But everyone, if you'll just keep your eye on your email, you will receive advanced notification. And Misha, any final words for everyone tonight?
No, I would just say if the strategy resonates with you, if you like the simplicity of it, if you like what you saw on the presentation, definitely get into action mode and get out there, connect with vendors. Make sure that you take them through the qualification process before you send them money, but get into action mode. That's what turned my business around and got me making sales and generating leads, and it's the only thing that's going to help you if you're kind of struggling with your business. So take action, and it's a very simple strategy. Don't overcomplicate it, and run with it if you like it, for sure.
Awesome, man. Words to live by. Well, thank you again, sir. Everyone, dive in, make it happen in between now and our next presentation, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.